Yung skin, yung ano. Hello, partner. Magandang gabi.
Magandang gabi, partner.
Magandang Martes ng gabi sa'yo. It's Tuesday again, so I'm able to see you again.
Yes. Kaya
sobrang busy tayo pareho na talagang Tuesday na lang tayo nagkikita, no?
Correct. Kaya nga from last week din eh. Tuesday lang kami nakita ni Justin. So parang, wow, kailangan ko pang mag-episode at kailangan pa kita i-guess bago kita makita.
Speaking of jazz, nag-order ako ng flowers sa kanya. So, happy birthday to Mami Sin Pineda.
Ayan.
Sa kanya ako kumuha ng flowers nung ano. So, ayan, yung mga early birds natin from Las Vegas, Nevada. Malapit na election sa kanila. No? So, Tina Duque Castro, Jake Castro, ayan. Magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat.
Yeah, nakakatuwa yung ano natin, how dynamic last episode was.
Hello, Boss Martin.
Hello, Adam. Ay, live na tayo?
Live na po.
Live na po.
Magkano lang kami, nagbabatian portion lang muna.
Batian portion lang.
Ayan, good evening to Paul Jan Veloso. Talagang regular tong kaibigan natin na to.
Oo. Madami ka dapat batiin now kasi yung super size episode natin last week hindi masyado marami na nabati dahil hitik na hitik eh.
Oo, tsaka umabot tayo ng 1 hour and a half.
Oo, super size nga eh. Parang wow.
Adrian Mark Dalangin, yan. Jenny B. Obejas, Jeneline Garland. Ang mga familiar names na yun. Len Morales. At syempre yung supporta ng mga Katangere.
Yes.
Linggo na silang talagang nag-tune-in. Maraming salamat po. No? At syempre ngayon dito si Boss Martin, mas marami pang manonood.
Syempre, oo. At saka super engaged sila. Sila yung ma-message, mabigay ng opinion, which is we really appreciate.
We really appreciate that. No? Alam niyo po, itong show natin no, ay sana po nararamdaman nyo yung pagiging kabahagi nyo ng palabas na to, na kayo po ang bumubuo kasama namin, no? Hindi lang kami ni Share, no? Hindi lang yung mga guests namin, kundi kayo rin po. In fact, yung last episode natin was a suggestion from a regular viewer, di ba? Si Mr. Brobs Agas ang nag-suggest nun, eh, no? Na magiging part naman daw siya.
Yan, sabi ko, next round siya.
Marami pa tayong gagawin natin kasi maganda yung reaction ng maganda yung feedback ng ating mga viewers dun sa nakarang episode. So gagawa tayo ng part 2 at part 3 kasi marami ring gustong sumali upang ipakilala yung kanilang mga online businesses and more importantly to share their entrepreneurial stories, no, their negosyantes kwento para makapag-inspire ng mas marami pang online business people. All right. No? So ngayong gabi parang malamig kaya naka-jacket ako eh. It's Christmas time. Yeah.
It's Christmas. Ramdam na.
And not only in the city, it's Christmas time. So ito na yung pinangako natin na magiging full episode. So bago tayo tumalon sa pangkasalukuyan, ay balikan muna natin ang nakaraan. So ano ba yung recap mo, no? Mula sa 1 hour and a half natin.
Oo, grabe yun. Yung episode 26 natin talagang super size me. Ayun. But we really did appreciate all the insights yung mga na-share ng ating mga entrepreneurs because yun nga at given this pandemic, hindi pa rin nawala ng loob. Kumbaga, some of them started, some of them pivoted, but they showed a lot of learnings. Especially, for example, yung power of informed discarte. So a lot of them started with the journeys of hobby to livelihood from personal survival to community service, di ba, Coach?
Yes, nagsimula yung istorya, karamihan, yung pattern nila, nagsimula sa pangangailangan, meron nagsimula sa pangarap, di ba? Sabi nga ni Madjo, no, pangarap na magkaroon ng sariling bahay. No, yung isa naman, no, yung si June, nag-ano lang siya, no, from a passion project na nagluluto siya araw-araw. Magaling talaga magluto yan. Ako na magsasabi sa inyo, no? And it became a community outreach, no? Na sabi niya, parang hindi na magluluto yung kapitbahay. Now, it's a business, no? So, makita mo ron yung, sa amin sinabi mo, no? Informed, no? Informed yung kanilang ginawa. Hindi siya bara-bara. No? At higit sa lahat, merong pinaghuhugutang talento at quality, no? Hindi ka naman talaga masusustain, hindi mo masusustain kung hindi quality products yung iyong nilalabas. Pakita rin natin yung example doon na kahit nasa abroad na.
Yes.
Si Chef Jen, no? Kahit nadalin mo kahit saan sulok, nagdadala sa Singapore, yung pamilya niya, nag-business sa Singapore. Nasa Australia, no? Nag-business. And mula pa lang sa Pilipinas, nag-negosyo na. And of course, si Jazz, no? Na nag-evolve naman, no? Informed. Again, no? Informed. Alam niya yung strengths niya, alam niya yung passion niya, and your personal goals. Tatlong bagay po yun. Idadagdag ko na sa recap mo, no? Strengths, passion, and personal goal. Yun yung mga importanteng aligned dun sa gagawin mong negosyo.
Tama, oo. Yung very connected siya dun sa second point na their products or their services are very personal. Kaya rin tayo humaba di ba? Parang they spoke about it with such, yung malasakit kumbaga. And their passion knew no bounds, na walang inalisang word na no pagdating sa service.
Yes, because alam nila that the reason why it's personal is, sabi ko nga kanina, aligned, no? Pag yung purpose mo, yung vision mo, no, doon sa negosyo ay malinaw at aligned doon sa yung mga personal goals, no, strengths and passion, no, madaling hugutin Madaling hugutin yung sipag, madaling hugutin yung resources na kailangan. Kasi may direction may malinaw na pupuntahan. So, yung motivation and discipline, commitment to excellence, at saka accountability, yung sinasabi natin parati na 4 na bagay na hindi pwedeng ipagkaloob sa ibang tao, nandun sa kanila. Kasi sila yung mga visionaries of their own businesses
Yes.
No? And gusto ko ring aspeto ron yung malalim na purpose ng pagnenegosyo nila. No, napakaganda ng personal na storya kung paano nilang, hindi pa man sila yung masasabing malaking negosyo, pero ang instinct kagad nila is to help others also, to resellers, no? Yung isa nga, sabi niya, 'di ba, community, isa, mga Filipino sa abroad na gusto niyang makatikim ng taste of home. Si Just naman is helping people in her industry. So,
even her kids, di ba? Naging incubator for her kids.
Tama, yung kids din, yung pamilya, paano in-incorporate doon sa passion project. No? Napakaganda.
Yes. And the last third point would be yung appeal na para ma-elevate siya is to increase reach and customer access. At saka yung itaas yung standards of quality and service.
Well, like any other business na sa amin nga, no, like katulad sa mga negosyo namin, Resto negosyo, no? Hindi lang sa online business. Yung scalability kasi ng isang negosyo starts with the fundamentals. No, bago mo i-ambition na i-replicate, no, i-multiply, i-expand, no, or damihan yung branches, ang kailangan na pundasyon pa rin talaga niyan yung signature dish, no, or its equivalent signature product, no. For example, no, nagpa-deliver ako ng bulaklak just nung Saturday for a special occasion. Pag naramdam mo yung personal touch, no, yung customization, and true enough, nung pag dineliver siya yung bulaklak, nakalagay yung pangalan niya. No? 'Di ba? Blooms to last by Just Distrito. So, ibig sabihin, itinataya nila yung pangalan nila. So pag itinataya mo yung pangalan mo at willing kang i-share sa iba, ang pinag-aangklahan pa rin talaga nun yung quality ng produkto, yung reputasyon ng produkto, no? Na pag i-deliver, whether it's flowers, no, whether it's cakes, no, ulam, no, and crab paste, no, in the case of Madjo, no. Ang tinataya mo yung pangalan mo, yun yung personal na sinasabi natin.
Yes, ayun. So with that, yun nga ang ating supersize episode. For the ones who missed it, catch it again, nandun lang sa ating sa ating.
Yun sa replay natin yan. Yun naman ang maganda sa ating mga episodes, no?
Yes.
Lahat po yan ay inyong matutunghayan. You can watch it on replay on Facebook, and also they're all posted on our YouTube channel.
Yes.
No?
We thank you all. Medyo tumataas na yung natin, yung ating viewership din sa YouTube. So you have to.
Salamat po. At tayo naman, yung mga followers natin, more of talaga yan, organic talaga sila. Mga talagang sumusubaybay. So yun naman ang gusto natin, na lumago tayo sa pamagitan ng involvement and collaboration of our audience also. So, yan. No?
Ayan.
Take it away, partner. Ano bang ating episode? Bakit ba
Ang
tayo napunta sa Pasko?
malamig ang simoy ng hangin. 51 days to go. My gosh, ayan na tayo. It's Christmas time ang ating episode. Episode 27, Consumer Sentiments for the Holidays.
Yan. Consumer Sentiments for the Holidays. And our guest tonight, introduce mo na, partner.
Ang ating mga guests, ang ating katangere, si Mr. Martin Peñaflor at si Mr. Adam Crane from Ion.
Iyon, okay.
Yes.
Maraming salamat po sa oras niyo. Boss Martin, batiin mo muna ang ating mga katangere at mga tagapanood ng Coach and Share.
Salamat Sir Romel ulit sa pag-invite. Teka, lipat lang ako pesto. Salamat po sa mga katangere natin na nanonood ngayon.
Yan. Adam! Yan, bago sa show natin si Adam. Ha? Salamat Adam sa pagpapa-unlock. Ha?
Wala nga naman po. I'm excited to be here and to share with all of us what Christmas is going to look like in a year that no one could predict when it started. So, yun.
So, kaya kami excited because actually about 2 weeks, even 3 weeks ago, nung in-announce ni Boss Martin na may gantong klase ng survey na ilalabas ang Tangere, at it's going to be made available sa viewers ng Coach and Share and to the public basically. Sobrang na-excite ako because alam ko, and I can only speak for the restaurant industry, no? Yun yung industriya namin, na kami malaking magiging pakinabang namin dito sa mga insights na to. So, ngayon, meron tayong kasama rin sa komunidad natin, yung mga online businesses, no? Not only food, but other businesses. So, in-invite namin talaga sila mag-tune in tonight.
In-invite din natin yung mga ad agency planners at saka yung mga brand managers kasi malaking timing ang mga demands natin for Christmas.
Sige. So, without further ado, I think i-share na nila yung pinakaabangan nating 12 questions for Christmas.
12 questions for Christmas talaga.
On the first day of
Tama ba? Tama ba ako? 12 ba yan? 12? Tama, di ba?
Well, oo naman. Pero di ko alam kung 12 ang tanong natin sa
12
survey.
days of Christmas eh.
Ito 12 questions of Christmas.
Time is so backwards na in this year 2020 of our Lord. Ito ang gagawin pa natin. I'll share the screen. Cheryl, Romel, Martin, if ever you want to interrupt with what I'm saying, please feel free. Kung may sasabihin kayo, sasabihin nyo. And I'll be sure to answer. Sige, let's do this. Present. Okay. It says it's loading. Can I get the thumbs up that the screen is visible? Cheryl, Romel, Martin. Is it visible to everyone? Okay, I see a thumbs up from Martin. Hindi sira computer niya. Okay, we're good. Okay. To make this very quick, we conducted a survey with Tangere to see how Christmas has changed the Pinoy. Wala namang duda, nagbago tayo ng plans for Christmas. So, how are they different? Yan ang gusto natin malaman. We'll begin with siguro masyadong obvious. Liliit talaga budget natin. Whether this is for Noche Buena or as we can see for Medianoche, it's very, very clear na liliit yung budget natin. Medyo naiingit ako sa may budget will increase. We can see na kahit Noche Buena or Medianoche may magpapa-increase ng budget. We can guess siguro mas iintindi sila ng value of the holiday now that things are much more dramatic. But for the most part, liliit yung budget natin. However, the bright spot to this is kahit liliit yung budget natin, we have no intention of stopping the celebration. What is going to change is paano tayo magse-celebrate. We can see on the chart na yung pinakamadami are going to still prepare for Noche Buena and Medianoche, which is very good, especially lalo na para sa atin yung taga-resto industry. Kasi ibig sabihin, the likelihood na people will, support our businesses is much higher. We can see the top 3 are the Noche Buena, Medianoche, the Pamamasko, and the Night Mass, the Eating Bibingka and Puto. Why kaya? Kasi these are options para sa ating lahat that do not require us to travel necessarily. They don't require us to breach the protocols of social distancing, mass gatherings, and so on and so forth. Conversely, we can see at the bottom end of this, somehow may magfi-film festival pa. Di ko alam kung paano siya posible. Parang wala nang film festival sa Pilipinas ngayon. May magta-travel pa din at may magpupunta pala sa mall. Kung wala kang choice kung di pumunta sa mall para bumili ng gift or yung food, edi kailangan mo talaga pumunta. But these are values that are much lower than those who are sticking to things that they can do safely. At syempre, furthermore to that point, we can see a drastic majority na mananatili lang sa bahay. You can stay at your home in the province pa din, but there's very, very low numbers na mag-out of town.
Oo, yung mga hotels, no, nawala bigla. Hotels,
At saka
parties.
Oo, di ba naalala ko merong, I think for the past 3 or 4 years, nagiging practice na rin na nagkakaroon ng hindi naman mass exodus, pero marami na lumalabas for outside the country ng Christmas.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oo,
So
pwede
medyo
naman.
naka-hold
At
ngayon
hindi
yun.
magse-celebrate ng Christmas katulad ng mga Islam, or just not religious. So why not make a vacation? Although this year has changed that mentality for sure. So yun. We asked people kung ano ang hinahanda before the pandemic, and it's a bit obvious, but at the same time, we'll see on the next slide kung bakit ito yung pinakamadami. Surprise, surprise, Pinoy tayo. So pakaing Pinoy yung pinaka-popular na food natin. This is followed perhaps curiously by Italian. We can guess siguro kasi Italian food is a very noodles conscious cuisine rather, and we all know the cultural value we place with noodles and longevity and long life. American burgers are also very popular, and the further down we get, we see things like Korean, Japanese, although I find that a bit odd considering I'm sure we've all noticed the booming popularity of things like samgyeopsal. So ako mismo nagulat sa results na ito na 428 lang yung magsasamgyup. Kahit may pandemic, may magsasamgyup pa din. So we'll see, we can look further to see kung ano ang demographic breakdown. Basta people were eating Pinoy food before the pandemic. And based on what people are, or where rather, people are going to shop for their food during the pandemic, we can guess na pakaing Pinoy pa din ang kakainin natin. Why? Kasi tingnan natin, we will be going to the wet market mostly. We will be going to the supermarket mostly. This is a reflection siguro of course, yung mas maliit na budget natin, it's certainly cheaper to get our products dun sa wet market or dun sa supermarket kaysa sa mall or sa online grocery minsan. But also that the ingredients that we need to cook our food, mas alam natin na, it's here in the wet market or it's in the supermarket because we're very familiar with the geography of these places.
Agree, no? It's about, I think it's more pronounced now than before the pandemic because of the factor of convenience, accessibility, and the restrictions. No?
Oo naman.
So, dati you can parang aim to procure from more creative sources or maybe more adventurous in terms of your culinary expertise. Pero ngayong taon, may maraming limitasyon. Sa ingredients pa lang, no? Sa restaurant industry, yan yung isa sa mga lumalabas na nagiging challenges sa amin, no, is yung availability of imported raw materials, no, and yung kung meron man available, mas definitely mas mahal na siya ngayon.
Exactly. Although we can also see that there are quite a bit that are going to consult online options at magdi-drive-thru pa din. So it's very reassuring in a way na we are cognizant kung ano ang nangyayari sa mundo sa Pilipinas and we are determined to stay safe, as safely as possible. Although there are obvious risks din sa pagpunta sa wet market and supermarket.
Adam, I think you'll be the one to parang answer my my parang gut feel or my parang hinala, no, about the correlation also of time. Kasi dati ang restriction for cooking at home is yung time, yung oras, 'di ba? Because you have to go to the mall, you have to shop. So ngayon siguro with the availability of time, naging malaking factor din na nag-consider sila na magluluto na lang kami, 'di ba? Dati yun yung pinakakatwiran Ayoko magluto, bibili na lang ako, busy ako ngayon saan ka pupunta, 'di ba? So parang
pwede.
Saka parang,
I agree, sir.
pagod na ako maghanap ng pahinga, hanap akong gagawin, parang gano'n.
Oh, I
tama,
agree,
tama.
Cheryl. I mean, there
Tama.
are people who were not even, hindi sila marunong magluto before the pandemic, and now, wala namang akong pupuntahan, di matuto ako magluto. And
Oo.
so
Tama.
this has really, we've seen this in the rise of people who are simply doing it para my hobby in a time of crisis. And then there are people who have transformed it into their livelihood, whether this is, unfortunately for some of us, it has become the essential activity. And then there are some who are doing it for side income as well. So it's not
Yeah.
surprising at all that time, as you said, Romel and Cheryl, has allowed us to really explore these options, whereas before perhaps it was easier to see, we see at the very bottom actually is catering. Maybe if COVID was not, wreaking havoc all over the country, mas madaming sumagot na catering yan ang i-avail ko.
Yes. No. And ato from personal experience, maybe a lot of people also will, I don't know how it is captured here, but I hear a lot of people, no, parang of course maliit lang yung circle pa na napapakinggan ko, no, but a lot of people trying to support yung mga kapamilya nila na nagnegosyo online.
Totoo.
Siyempre, ang first instinct mo niyan, kung ano ipang ririgalo mo, yung bibilin mo na lang sa kamag-anak mo na nag-online business. Para two birds in one stone, ika nga, no? Nasuportahan ko na yung kamag-anak ko nagnenegosyo. And, nakapagregalo pa ako. May handa pa ako. Parang gano'n.
And I think also another point is, dito pumasok yung food is hero pagdating sa Pinoy cuisine. Kasi in general, when we prepare food, Pinoy food is generally flexible sa pagiging family sharing, di ba?
Yes.
Family sharing, masarsa, spaghetti, pwedeng extend. So maraming mga extended na medyo flexible siya. So
I agree. Na-realize ko, I've never done puro a la carte if ever kumakain ako ng Japanese. I cannot imagine yung sinabi mong family style kung halimbawa Mexican food or Korea. Well, Samgyeopsal is there, but point well taken, Cheryl. I completely agree.
It's the season
that
of
would be
sharing.
Interesting, Romel, to your point about who will I buy from first? That would be an interesting thing to look into with research. Na sa dami ng online sellers, ano ang motivation ko to buy from them? Okay.
Pwede naman natin next week, Adam. Yun yung advantage natin sa Tangere app. We can raise it kahit bukas. Pwede natin gawin yung survey na yun.
Wow.
natin to answer that question.
Mag-usap tayo.
Kasi malaking bagay sa mga negosyante, no? I mean, like ngayon, ang dami talagang nag-tune in ngayon na nagme-message sa akin na we were excited, no? I shared it din sa Resto PH group, no? And I'm sure may mga nanonood din from our organization. They're really interested to find out, no? It is the first Christmas that we're going to have na ganito yung situation, no? Worldwide, no? So,
and hopefully the last.
Sana.
Fingers crossed. I can't do
this. Sorry. So yun, I think marami talagang hindi tayo pwede kasi mag-wait and see eh.
Sure.
We cannot afford to do that. Kanina pinag-uusapan namin yun before the show started na mai-share lang namin, no. It's going to be critical talaga. Etong Q4 2020 is actually going to be the deciding factor for Q1, no, na may magpapatuloy pa ba ako ng negosyo ko. Ito na yung Christmas season, holiday mood, no. Kung alam mo ng Pinoy, kahit na uubusin niya sa December yung resources niya, but come January, dun magkakasubukan talaga. So we cannot, from the perspective of the entrepreneurs, we cannot afford to wait and see. Hindi pwede itong kasi nga, it might be and hopefully it's the last, no, first and last na ganitong situation, but it's also critical and crucial for us, for the sustainability ng business, moving towards Q1 and Q2 of 2021. So, yan.
Sounds good. Okay. There's a few more before I wrap up. Para sa mga tao dito na may franchise sa mall, baka this will be interesting to you. Although, unfortunately, it's not the most positive news as we can see from the pie graph. The frequency of people who are going to the mall has decreased drastically. We see this large yellow section, yung pinakamadami. If the font is too small, and I see that the the sentence is actually cut off. Yung mga yellow, those are the hindi talaga pumupunta sa mall. So we are in a bit of a predicament if that's where your franchise is in terms of keeping your customer base sustained and well fed. And then we see on the right are those who are still going to the mall. But even then, I did the math, yung gray, that's about 4/5 of those who are still nagmamall at mas madalang. So we are in a bit of a challenge if our priority is to sustain our customer base doon. And we asked why this is. And syempre, hindi ito lahat ng sagot kasi we would be here until Q1 2021 yung sinabi ni Romel. Mga 7,500 kasi. But if I were to summarize this very busy slide, we can categorize the reasons for changing into A, liliit yung budget or lumiit na. And people are really just trying to stay safe. We can see things like kung hindi naman essential ang dahilan ng paglabas, kung halimbawa kagaya ng pagbili ng grocery or gamot, mas mabuti kung nang hindi lumabas, iwas-hawas sa COVID. And this is very common. And we notice this kahit anong age mo, whether you're Gen Z or you're a boomer, whether your social class, these things, there was no clear majority about these feelings about being a bit scared to go back to the mall. So we also asked what could we do to convince you to come back? And it's a combination of several factors. The first is, money talks. We know this. So kung mabibigyan sila ng 50% off, big discounts, damihan ng sale, I'm not going to act like I don't shop based on money. So syempre, if there's a huge sale, I will find a way to purchase, whether it's actually going to the mall or avail ko yung online option. But there are other people saying that hindi naman necessarily yung presyo kundi yung safety protocols. We can see panatilihin ng mga health and safety protocols. And then there are people that are saying, wala kayong magagawa sa akin. Wala. Dahil ako ay nagtitipid, mas kailangan namin ng makakain kaysa sa mga bagay. Or hanggat walang vaccine na nagagawa at na-distribute, ay hindi ako pupunta sa mga mall. And again, there was no clear majority among these sentiments, whether it's age or numbers or economic class. So we have no choice but to take them all equally as seriously and just see what works for us. So if we were to summarize the takeaways, we are in a culture that believes in tradition kahit may pandemya, kahit liliit yung budget, kahit may concern kung ano ang mangyayari sa next month, sa next year, kung ano mangyayari sa gobyerno, kung anong mangyayari sa panahon, we will still be celebrating Noche Buena and Medianoche by hook or by crook, based on the data we've seen. At the same time, our way of celebrating is going to change based on our priority of safety. We will put safety first. We will do this whether by staying in our homes or making sure the food that we cook and we serve our family is as easy to prepare as possible and requires the least amount of transportation. But we could also see through the data, I know I didn't talk about it much, it's in other slides, but I do want to clarify na kahit dumami yung online sales, we've all seen this, kahit dumami yung online options, yung pinakamadami, yung pinaka-popular na sagot ay pupunta pa din sa supermarket, pupunta pa din sa wet market. Brick and mortar is going to endure pa din kahit may pandemya, kahit may risks of going to the mall. We are still committed to the physical shopping, and there's a lot of reasons we could possibly explore. Baka kasi there's safety. I know this saging is good because I see it. It's right in front of me. Where as opposed to if I'm buying it online, wala akong guarantee na
hindi ko siya mapipisil.
Yes. Diba? I'm the same way when I shop for my foods as well. It's always helpful. So I completely can understand. Yung insights. So it's no surprise na yung economics natin ay nagbago dahil sa COVID-19. Hindi ibig sabihin susuko tayong lahat sa pag-shopping. Ang ibig sabihin doon ay kailangan natin i-diversify yung pag-shopping natin. So people are shopping online, people are staying with the supermarket, people are doing a whole bunch of things. Hindi magsasara lahat ng mall kahit may pandemya. But at the same time, people are getting more creative to see how they will get their food or how they will sell their food. Yung second point, as Filipinos, we do tend to be, for better or for worse, bahala na with our approach to health. If we get sick, it's what God wanted. If we heal, it's what God wanted. If there's a natural disaster, bahala na kay Lord. But this seems to have been shaken up based on the survey results. We saw kanina there are people that are not getting up off of their butts and going to the mall, even though there are safety protocols, even if maka-face shield lahat, even if may alcohol sa bawat door, hindi sila aalis from their bahay. So we can see that this approach na it's all up to God, it seems to have been shaken up. Maybe it's disappearing because of COVID-19. And our celebrations and the way we celebrate have been adjusted to this. I do kind of want to, the third point, it's not as related to Restos, but it's something worth noting because there have been a lot of concerns na ay, mag-eat out kayo, ibig sabihin wala kayong disiplina. Based on the results, Filipinos have adjusted to the restrictions of COVID-19. There are many people who will go back to the mall, who will go to the resto if there are safety protocols. And this has been made very clear by the results. Na if everyone is following the rules appropriately, then they might be more inclined to dine out or to go to the mall or to do things that people would not necessarily be interested in if there were not these restrictions in place. Basta, no matter what is happening, we are still determined to celebrate these holidays. They are a part of who we are. It's just going to change, and we knew it would change. But it's up to us to make these changes work for the benefit of our families, for the benefit of our businesses, and for the benefit of the Philippines, if you think about it. So, yan ang yung Miss Universe ko, pagka yung Miss Universe ko. Romel, Cheryl, Martin, if you have any follow-up questions for myself or Martin, or if anyone tuning in has had questions, please feel free to ask. Thank you for enduring, for listening. Thank you for listening.
Then galing. I mean, I was writing down notes the whole time that that you were talking about the results, no? Because I've read some of the numbers as sent by Martin for yung teaser natin last week, no, for the question. But again, no, it's really helpful para sa aming mga nagnenegosyo. At least we have an idea already of how people are thinking of things. Kasi sentimiento to, di ba? And we of course things will change. And yan, may factor ngayon ng bagyo, diba? So mayroong apektadong regions and provinces. So but again, no, time and again we have seen Filipinos, no. And maybe a short story that I can share to everyone as maybe an inspiration, no. I went to yung after nung typhoon sa Tacloban. I was still working for Cervic, no? Cheryl, kasi shakies pa ako nun eh. So we had to reopen yung Tacloban store, no? And ito, hanggang ngayon kinikilabutan ako pag kinikwento ko yung storya, no? So the franchisee was requesting for us to reopen. So nagulat kami because from where we stand here in Manila, parang alam natin, terrible yung nangyari, di ba? So, but he explained to me na you have to go here. Sabi niya, just to be fair to us, you have to go here, no, and check kung ano yung nangyayari dito. So syempre, no, in support of them, we went, no, December 26. Sariwang-sariwa pa yung no. And pag dumating ka talaga ron, masyasyak ka kahit nakita mo na sa news, no. And this is the same context, no, pandemya, no, and now it's Tacloban, and after the typhoon and the surge, the storm surge, talagang makita mo devastated talaga. But when you see, and this is the power of it's also one of the reasons why I'm still in the industry and I'm really passionate about this industry. There were several restaurants that were open, no? Open, pero food truck. No? So Jollibee was, had a little L300 food truck, no, and McDonald's, I think, was, had that little kiosk or booth. And you have to remember, these people were eating, delata for the past month. Kasi wala nang pagkain na dumarating sa kanila. Hindi sila kakain ng isda dahil takot sila na kumain ng tao yung isda na yun at kinain nila, no? Which happened because ang dami nalunod talaga. So, ang sabi ng franchisee, inikot niya ako dun sa buong Tacloban and pinakita niya, no? Alam mo sir, pag ganito ang sitwasyon, ang makapagpapasaya lang sa tao at magbibigay ng sense of normalcy or normalhood or kung ano man yung tamang term, is kung matitikman nila yung pagkain na gusto nilang makain. Kasi they had money because yung Chuchi organization from Taiwan was there eh. Tapos may mga, the United Nations, ang daming tumutulong, no? People were given cash, no, to spend. Pero wala silang mabibili kundi dilata. So ginawa namin, dinala namin yung bus. Tinawid namin yung Shakey's bus doon sa nakarating doon and wow, nakakaantig ng damdamin nung pumipila yung tao sa bus and they were just celebrating, no, for New Year's. And they were so happy na hindi sila kakain ng dilata. No? Kasi walang wet market, walang supermarket. So puro relief, no? So why am I telling this story? Yung kanina pinagkikwentuhan natin, bumalik sa isip ko yun eh. Na ang Pilipino talaga napakahalaga sa atin nung emotional na impact sa atin ng celebration. It's not celebration per se. And most of the time, it's misunderstood by some as an attitude of, walang pakialam sa bukas, no, etc. May terminology pa dyan, di ba? Yung ubos-ubos biyaya, di ba? I don't think it's that, no. It's the Filipinos, number one, yung sense of family, sense of community, and yung pagmamahal natin sa isa't isa. Expressed, ang language of love kasi natin nasa pagkain din eh.
Pagkain.
Yes.
Serbisyo, pagluluto, pagkain, no? And I think yun yung para sa akin, it's not an insight that's from an expert's point of view. It's just my personal experience and from experiences before and how I see the similarities now and I'm happy to note, no? Kasi I'm a type of person na tinitingnan ko yung opportunities doon sa mga pine-present mo and I'm happy to say that may mga taong magse-celebrate, may mga mag-o-order sa amin, and I'd rather focus on that. So,
right. I also want to clarify to your point, Sir Romel, that the data was called before Rolly and Shoni hit.
Yeah, tama.
So there is no reason why in the span of 2 days or 3, these numbers could have shifted in favor of online selling, in favor of maybe they don't want to go to the wet market kasi wala na silang wet market or under rehabilitation yung wet market nila. For better or worse, we live in the Philippines where no 2 days look the same. So if that gives us more hope for being able to rebuild on day 2, kahit medyo pangit yung day 1, I'd like to believe we have the strength and the creativity to make sure everyone is well fed in more ways than one. So yun.
Yeah, and also from past episodes sa pag-usapan namin share to, no, the advantage for us operators now during 2020 compared to 2019, mas matatag na yung online presence ng bawat restaurant eh. In the aggregators, no, independent delivery apps and multiple platforms, no. Hindi katulad dati sobrang dependent kami sa dine-in eh. So I think that's one good thing about 2020 also.
And as well as sa side ng, di ba, sa side ng consumers din, naging na rin sila, naging mas comfortable na sila. Dati, pag online, pambata lang yan. Di ba? Ngayon, lahat na. Oo. Ngayon, parang, order ka na sarili mo, kaya mo na yan.
Totoo, share, no? Lalo yung groceries. No? And I think there will be, maybe maghanap din tayo ng kaibigan natin sa either sa Metromart, Lazada, or some of the other platforms. So they can also share with us, no, yung anong nangyayari ba dun sa platform. And ngayon sa amin dito kasi sa condo, makikita mo kung gaano karami deliveries in a day. You just have to ask the guard kasi may log sila niyan eh. Anak ko, I do that, no. So tinatanong ko sila, saan maraming restaurant nagpa-deliver today, no?
Malaki na naman ng deliveries on 11/11 most likely, di ba? Shopee and Lazada. Yeah.
Sige, si Boss Martin mukhang kanina pa sabihin.
And then, nakikinig lang naman ako, Sir Romel. I'm in awe of the insights ni Adam. So, he made sense of the data that we gathered. Kailan ba pina-survey to Adam? I believe this was done 2 weeks ago. We got 7,500 respondents. Salamat nga pala sa mga sumagot ng survey sa community namin. Nanonood sila ngayon, naka-live kami dun sa group namin. Shoutout muna sa lahat ng nanonood kay Tracy, kay Priscilla, si Sophia Joy, sabi niya, Pinoy are stronger than any other disaster. Kahit maapektuhan ay babangon at babangon tayo para lumaban ulit. Nagbabasa lang ako ng comments while listening to Adam kanina. I'm really thankful to our partnership with Ion for their wonderful insights sa mga data na nakuha namin. So, thank you Adam for being here tonight.
No worries, I have nowhere to go, Martin, because of COVID. But on that point, yeah, Tangere has also been very instrumental. I would have none of these insights if Tangere did not have the 7,000 plus people to give us these insights. It's very chicken or egg, and you can't do one without the other. I would like to make a food metaphor, but I can't think off the top of my head kung ano ang kailangan ng egg at chicken sabay. Oy, ako doon, yun. Japanese yun. Pero yun, this has been an exciting synthesis, kumbaga.
Tama. Ayun naman ang sinabi natin at the start of the pandemic, pina-point out natin yung one good thing that came out of this pandemic is na accelerate yung collaborations, mga synergies, and people, from the interconnectedness came more positive things. Yun ang maganda that we, one trait of the Filipinos also is yung ating pagiging positive, na kung duduluhan mo, sometimes may pagka maraming kwento, reklamo, pero sa dulo ng lahat, we will always move forward Yun ang nakakatuwa siguro kailangan lang natin baguhin yung mindset o saka yung mga terminologies na ikino-coin regarding yung. Pero I think there was a UP study that already attempted to do that na gawing positibo yung mga inaakala nating negatibong mga traits ng Filipino. Diba? Totoo naman na tayo kahit anong iharap mo sa atin, we will move forward and move forward happily actually. We find ways to smile, we find ways to be happy, and we find ways to share. Kahit kanina nakakatuwa yung nung nagkaalaman na kung gaano kalaki yung damage ng bagyo, ang dami kagad sa social media nagpo-put up ng pagtulong, And speaking of which, I hope you don't mind na mag-share lang ako ng isang isang photo para lang matulungan natin yung si Father J. Boy, sa Ateneo na magkalap ng donasyon para sa ating mga kababayan, ibababad ko lang sa screen sandali ito. Ayan po, it's the least that we can do dito sa Coach and Share para po makatulong sa ating mga kababayan sa Bicol. Ayan po ang mga account numbers and details where you can take a shot of the screen or grab it on your phones na para po kung hindi po tayo makatulong financially, i-share lang po natin yung photo sa ating Facebook pages. Malaking bagay na po para sa kanila. Yan po ang nire-request lang nila. Hindi pa po natin na kwekwenta ng gobyerno kung ano talaga yung extent ng damages, pero napakarami po talaga apektadong pamilya. Sa balita lang po kanina, hindi pa nga, sabi nga, limitado pa yung access, hindi pa na-appraise kung gaano kalaki yung damage, pero makakatulong po. Maski lang po mapakalat lang natin tong larawan na to para may makatulong lang po sa kanila. So, thank you very much para sa mga tutulong at sabi nga ng mga matatanda, Diyos na ang bahala sa ating lahat. Yan, sa mga tutulong. So yun, siningit ko lang and I hope you don't mind. So,
pwede din ba pag-tag sa Romel?
Go ahead, sir. No problem.
Yun similar din dun sa pinost nyo kanina sa mga katangere namin na nanonood. Magkakaroon po tayo ng points donation bukas. Yung mga points na i-donate nyo, tutumbasan natin siya ng monetary value. Ang target natin is makaipon ng 200,000 pesos points, 200,000 points na mag-donate na tutumbasan natin ng points na i-donate natin sa Bicol. May mga members kasi kami ng community na taga Catanduanes. Yung huling check ko kanina, merong 584 members kami na Catanduanes that were greatly affected by Typhoon Rolly. So magdo-donate kami sa kanila. So may donation drive din po kami sa mga members namin. Yung ibang members namin doon, kasama sila sa mga sumagot ng survey na to. Yung Christmas sentiments, 2 weeks ago. So we'll be helping you out in the coming weeks. Ito Sir Romel, yung present ni Adam kanina, this is a culmination ng lahat ng mga bayanihan studies that we did simula ng pandemic. Nagsimula kami sa ano yung mga pina-survey natin, mga studies natin, Adam, shopping in the new normal, paano ba naapektuhan ng COVID yung pagpunta mo sa mall, yung in terms of the retail industry. We had surveys about the food and restaurant industry na share na din namin sa Bounce Back PH group, na share na din po namin yun. We had studies on nutrition month that was held 2-3 months ago. And now, ito po yung culmination talaga. Parang pinagsama-sama namin dito yung mga insights na nakuha namin to come up with these 12 questions na present ni Adam. So, we are excited na i-share yung buong report. Ito yung tip of the iceberg pa lang yung present ni Adam kanina. May detailed report po kami na i-share sa lahat ng mga nanonood sa Resto Coach, sa lahat ng mga gusto makuha ng report na industries that are targeted dito sa report na to: retail, food and restaurant, among others. Salamat sa sumagot ng surveys.
Salamat din po sa lahat ng mga sumagot ng survey, no. Napakalaking tulong po sa mga nasa industriya ng restaurant, sa industriya ng food in general, no, food online businesses. No, hindi po mahirap pong mga pa sa dilim, no, sapagkat yung resources po namin ngayon napakahirap pong isugal sa mga bagay na manghuhula kami kung ano yung dapat naming tutukan, no. So malaking bagay po ito. Nagpapasalamat kami sa Tangere and sa Ion also for choosing us to be one of the platforms for sharing this information. And makakaasa kayo, no, Boss Martin, Adam, na sa mga kasama ko sa industriya, no, i-share din natin ito sa mga Viber groups para mas marami pang negosyante na ma-reach yung ating mga informasyon na importante para, again, no, makatulong tayo sa pagbangon ng hindi lang ng restaurant industry kundi ng mga negosyante in general.
Yung nagkakaroon tayo ng presentation with Tangere, lagi ako na FOMO kasi wala sa Malaysia eh. Tuwing sinasabi niya yung nakakalap niya yung response ng 3-4 days, less than that, ng 7,000. Ako parang sumasakit ang ulo ko kasi lahat ng research ko ngayon, parang ilang buwan.
Ano yan, no? So, alam mo, naniniwala ako sa destiny kasi baka mamaya kaya kayo nagkakilala dito upang dalhin ang Tangere sa Malaysia. Diba?
Ay, correct. 24 hours lang po kinuha yung data.
Ayun, sorry. Sorry naman, mas maikli pa pala, 24 hours, di ba? Parang, oh my God.
Online na ngayon eh. So what would prevent us from doing the same thing in Malaysia?
No, but the good thing is,
may isip ni Boss Martin.
Parang testament din siya dun sa, yung Filipino, sinasabi nila, di ba, parang negative yung pagiging chismoso. Pero this part, nagiging useful siya. Kasi honestly, pagdating sa research dito in Malaysia, which I've been very much exposed to, hirap na hirap kasi they're not very responsive. They will say it's okay, but they will not buy it because they kept the information to themselves. So it's a lot harder. Yeah.
Tama, ang galing ng insight, no? Yes, sabi ko parati, share sa mga restaurant managers and entrepreneurs also na we should appreciate yung feedback. No? Kasi yung feedback sa Pilipinas, ano rin eh, no? Kailangan pahalagahan mo. Kasi otherwise, you will just depend on your product mix. And that's too late kasi nangyari na yun eh. So napaka-importante nung difference between listening, no, intently and really, keenly observing yung behavior ng tao and appreciating the feedback. Na sabi nga namin pag may customer complaint, magpasalamat ka at nagsalita.
Yes.
Kasi pwedeng hindi na nagsalita yan at lumipat na lang ng ibang restaurant.
Correct.
Then clueless ka, no, wala kang feedback. So I think tamang-tama yung mo na naikwento mo na yan minsan sa Malaysia talagang hindi sila kasing open. Sa Pilipinas, imbis na tawagin nating chismoso, baka pwede nating tawagin participative.
Oo,
diba?
na feeling niya stakeholder siya. Parang,
yes,
this is my brand. I'm a part of it. So parang, okay, community.
Tayo nga, may mga sinasabi pa minsan na mema. No, ako hindi ako sang-ayon doon. Pag may sinasabi yung tao, pakikinggan natin. May masabi lang. Hindi po totoo yun. Talaga pong susuriin yung sinasabi ng tao, may malalim na kahulugan po talaga yan. No? So, share, ano pang, baka may katanungan ka pa sa ating mga bisita sapagkat larangan mo to, marketing to eh.
Hindi, kaya ako natutuwa kasi nandun sa part ng lagi siyang bumabalik dun sa, from a brand standpoint, kung food ka man, kung restaurant ka man, or FMCG, I think naging important dun sa ating insight, yung pagdating sa two key areas. Pumupunta pa rin sila sa wet market at pumupunta pa rin sila sa supermarket. Meron ding online. Then, yeah, okay, maraming discussions on that. But it shows there's opportunity that they go there. Why not be there? It doesn't
Right.
mean na minsan yung produkto mo dati wala sa supermarket. Hindi siya pwede. Ngayon, pwede mo na eh. Kasi parang sa amin, siguro in regulations kasi mahirap. Before, you can only go to pharmacies and to doctor clinics pagdating sa vaccines. Just for everybody's information, I work with vaccines. It was difficult for us to get people to the clinics kasi ayaw nila may baka ma-COVID sila dun eh. But they go to the pharmacies. So ngayon, may long project kami na bakit hindi pwedeng ma-accredit ang mga pharmacists to administer the vaccine. That's access out of necessity. So medyo long game siya, pero before the pandemic, hindi siya na-explore kasi parang okay, we're okay with how things are. Same goes for, wet markets. Wag natin langlangin ang wet market. Ano siya, nasa institusyon siya ng bawat district, ng isang bawat district. So I think there's a lot of opportunity there.
Oh, yes.
Tama.
And the opportunity, as you were saying, it's not necessarily, as you said, to just infringe on the territory of those who are already making their money, whether it's through community partnerships. Kanina, we shared how we can all help the regions of Bicol. Martin shared how there would be initiatives to help yung mga Tangere na naapektuhan ng what we all know happened this past weekend. It does not necessarily have to be the same thing as selling. And this is something at Eon that we really tell our clients that want to make a community impact. The community impact is anything that really helps the community. So whether it's training those in the wet market to have more of an entrepreneurial spirit, or helping them with their gender politics so that more women in the wet market and the supermarket feel better equipped to handle the realities of business, whether it's the economics or the misogyny of certain, maybe there are some very old-fashioned men who don't think a woman's place is in business, things like this. There are so many ways that this can all come together. It does not necessarily mean magtatayo kayo ng booth right across from the wet market that you're selling brand name isda, competing against the freshly caught isda. There's so many different paths to explore. And as Cheryl is saying, from a branding standpoint, there's definitely a consumer impact in terms of financials, but there's also a consumer impact in top of mind. And I, as a person who works in advocacy, the top of mind is kasinhalaga, because it means, okay, I don't necessarily buy from this brand 24/7, but I know of them as good people kasi andun sila nung may bagyong Rolly. Andun sa Catanduanes pagkatapos ng nangyari. So, as Sherry was saying, kahit hindi siya instant, in the long run, may bunga. And so there are many different ways to explore what it means to really partner.
Agree. If I may add, yan yung sinasabi natin sa coaching point din natin share dito na I think was a couple of episodes back, hindi siya transactional. Kasi nung nangyari nung pre-COVID, sobrang tayo transactional na yung nangyayari, Business, transaction. It's like sa katagang English nga herding cattle, Parang generic consumers as a generic category, And I love what you brought out during what you said, Adam, about yung kaugnayan nung pagnenegosyo sa maraming aspetong sosyal at politikal, Even yung mga social issues, nako-cover yan, Ako, particular advocacy ko sa restaurant industry is yung commitment to excellence. I think yun yung dapat ma-realize natin, Taas natin yung antas, whether it's discourse, whether it's products, whether it's, quality. And matagal ko nang pinapaglaban na pagtuon natin ng pansin yung pagtataas ng antas ng standards natin, At ito yung pinakita ng COVID-19. That ultimately, when what really matters, yung tinatawag nating AKA, essentials, ang natira, no, talagang hindi mawawala talaga yung quality. No, quality meaning it's encompassing safety, food safety, no, of course the more discernible or more experienced aspects of quality, taste, no, yung mga smell, no, and yun wet market is a good example. And sa kabilang dulo ng spectrum, yung diskurso, yung ano ba dapat ang pinag-uusapan natin sa panahon ng pandemya. No, and yun yung sinasabi namin ni Boss Martin, kaya tayo nag-collaborate din with Tangere at Coach and Share, because we want to elevate the level of discourse to something that is, based on anchored on facts, no, and insights and research, hindi yung opinion lang, no, ng kahit sino pang, kahit gaano ka prominenteng tao, kung opinion pa rin talaga yan, eh. So itaas natin yung antas. And maraming salamat, Adam, for bringing that, that topic into the discussion. Boss Martin, ikaw, ano ba yung iyong parting shot sa ating mga katanghere, no, sa mga ka-coach and share? What do we have to look forward to? What do we have to look forward to? Ano pa yung mga pwede nating what's in store for all the people who are following? Kasi sinusundan na nila yung segment nyo rito sa show namin, eh. A lot of the entrepreneurs are really looking forward to the once every 2 weeks natin na paglalahad ng mga resulta. So ano pa yung mga pwede nating asahan sa mga susunod na episodes?
May nabanggit si Adam kanina, Sir Romel, about ano nga ba yung, remind me again, Adam, yung about collaboration, yung nag-comment ako kanina.
Sorry, dami kong comment. Ang daldal ko. Sa dami kong comments, di ko naalala kung anong comment ang gusto mo. Collaboration.
We'll check the recording again, Sir Romel. Gaya nga sabi nyo, I'll watch this again in YouTube since available kayo sa YouTube. I'll watch this. We'll make a follow-up survey. Maybe, ang maganda kasi sa amin is, sa panahon ngayon, mabilis mabago yung sentiments ng tao. Gaya ng sabi ni Adam, the survey was done before the typhoon. So what if we do the survey again next week? Ano kaya yung result? Same pa din kaya siya or nabago na? Ang maganda kasi with us is in a week's time, in days time nga lang, nakikita agad natin yung sentiments ng tao. And I'm really thankful dun sa mga sumasagot ng survey. Top of mind na yung comment ko kanina kay Adam is about collaboration. Top of mind, maybe what we can do a survey on. Nakita niyo na ba, Sir Romel, yung post sa Facebook ng Burger King asking people
to eat in McDonald's. Very good.
Collaboration between different competing companies before. What if we do a survey about it? Maybe Ian can help us craft questions for it. Yan, and yun yung pwede nating ipa-survey for next week sa QSR natin, Sir Romel.
Yeah, I think I agree, no, yung ano rin, no, it's time to highlight yung fact na sabi ko nga, no, isang episode pa lang yung na-devote natin doon, share, but it's more of the managers and the employees. But you have to I think we need to have as guests on the show in relation with what Boss Martin said. Yung mga yung mga entrepreneurs na lumalaban at namumuhunan sa gitna ng pandemya, no, kaya no sinabi mo, no, creative ways. In fact, bago pa man lumabas yung post na yan about Burger King and McDonald's na galing yata abroad, no, to give credit where credit is due, ingat-angat dito sa Pilipinas, highlight na nila yung collaboration. Nandun ng Jollibee kasama ang McDonald's, nandun ng Petron kasama ang Shell yata or Caltex, no. And parang ang mensahe, ang sinasabi lang noon is itabi muna natin yung rivalry at magtulong-tulong tayo, no. Sapagat sinasabi ko nga matagal na, no, nung simula pa lang ng pandemya, pag hindi natin natulungan ng mga SMSEs, no, mahihirapan po makarecover ang ating bansa. Sapagkat sa employment pa lang, no, madali pong i-figure out kung sino yung inaalaw at sino yung mga na-categorize as essentials, doon po natin ituon yung suporta muna. Kasi within the ranks, may tanong nga rito ito nakakatuwa to, linggo-linggo na nagsimula to, I think in one episode, pero I think it's his 4th or 5th week na nanonood sa atin. Roberto Tabinas Jr., sabi niya, based on recent data, ilang restaurant po ang nagsiserve ng dine-in sa NCR? Ilan din po yung nag-close na, no? I'm telling you, my friend, no, I don't have the exact data right now, but if you go inside a mall, no, go to Mega Mall or Glorieta, you will have a very, very clear idea. The restaurants, especially yung malalaki ang mga spaces, maraming casualties doon, no? And again, hindi po nanghihingi ng awa ang mga nasa restaurant industry. Ang sinasabi lang po namin, hindi nga po kami interesadong mangutang. Ang sinasabi po namin, ang kailangan po namin ay consumption. Yun yung sinasabi mo kanina, Boss Martin, ang mensahe nun, ang kailangan namin, consumption. Kaya bumili kayo sa McDonald's, sa Burger King, sa Buffalo Wings and Things, no? Sa Wing Zone o kung saan man, ang importante, no, mag-consume kayo. Kasi ang categorization natin ng productivity medyo limitado. 'Di ba yung mga restrictions pinalalabas ang mga magtatrabaho. Yun yung kikita ng pera sapagkat nagtrabaho. What if sabihin ko na ang category ng productivity also, pwede po ba akong lumabas dahil gagastos po ako ng 15,000 pesos? Diba? That's actually productivity because you're infusing 15,000 pesos sa mga matatapang na nagtutuloy pa rin ang negosyo sa gitna ng napakakonting customer.
Market stimulation.
Yes, stimulation. So, I think yun po, medyo pag-usaping gobyerno na yan. Kaya pwede rin nating i-survey yun, no? Kapatid na Boss Martin, no? Pwede nating tingnan yan. Okay? So, unfortunately, patapos na po ang ating palabas, no? Ating munting palabas, no? Na we're honored to have our distinguished guest. At alam mo, ngayon pala sinasabi ko na hindi ito huling pagkakataon na lalabas tong dalawa doon dito. No? Yes. Alam mo na, makapal ang mukha natin dito, hindi pa umuoo yung bisita.
Naka-on the spot sila.
Iko-commit na natin. No? So itutuloy ko na yung segment ko bago ikaw. Tama ba? Ako muna yung resto quote natin. No? Para mga dito yung bisita natin. Alam mo, bibilib ka rin dito sa kaibigan nating si no? Sorry medyo na-excite ako, hindi ko agad na full screen. No? Bibilib ka rin dito kay Aristotle, no? Mantakin mo kailan ba nabuhay to, share. Mga ano pa to matagal na panahon na no? Pero tinan mo yung timeliness at relevance ng kanyang pinagsasabi, no? Sabi niya, the secret of change is to focus all of your energy not on fighting the old but on building the new. Napaka makahulugan at napaka meaningful at valuable, makabuluhan,
and timeless.
Mahalaga, and timeless. No, Aristotle, no? Talagang bata pa ako namamangha na ako, kasama niya yung mabarkada niya, sila Plato at sila yan ang mga contemporary niyan. So ang kausap po nito, mga kapatid, no, sinasabi sa atin, no? Natawa ako minsan, narinig mo na to yung nauso ngayon yung lipatan from kapamilya to kapatid, di ba? So, ang tawag daw sa kanila yung mga kapatilya, no? So, mga kapatilya, mga kapamilya, mga kapatid, mga kapuso, ang sinasabi lang po nito is, again, we encourage you to look at change as something positive, no? Na pwede po nating hanapin yung oportunidad, no? Huwag na nating labanan. Hindi na po babalik yung dati, no? Mag-build na po tayo ng better and new normal. Di ba? Naalala niyo dati yung new normal. Ngayon po, better normal. So kasama po tayo sa pagbuo, yung mga sumasagot po sa mga Tangere, na sumasagot sa survey, nakakatulong po kayo. Yung mga tao na nag-o-order sa restaurants, umo-order sa online businesses, nakakatulong po kayo. At ngayong gabi po kasama natin yung dalawang katuwang natin sa pag-recover, Ion and Tangere. So maraming salamat po. With that, si Cher will already give us her top takeaways for this week.
Yes.
Sige,
okay.
Take it away.
Top takeaways, ang pinaka-importante, tuloy ang Pasko. Christmas is not canceled, people. That's a very, very positive light. Na ang nagiging importante lang is yung essential portion na is yung quality. And ang ating relationship to tradition. Yun na yung pagiging Pinoy natin. Really coming from a Filipino who will celebrate Christmas in another place na hindi ganun kalaki ang Filipino community, I can certainly feel this so much. Because on point number 2, na-point out natin na apart from being transactional and functional, let's appeal to it as, let's remember it's a season of gratitude, of hope, and of love. So pagdating dun sa ating mga messaging ng ating consumption, yung appeal to consumption, mag-appeal tayo dun sa sentiment. Go deeper than buy now, better, bigger, stronger, yung mga ER. It has to mean something. This is the part where we know what's essential, and it's now family and community. Na sa third point is yung pagiging value-driven. Lagi-lagi namin sinasabing kung gaano ka-importante. Hindi yung cheap, hindi yung affordable, hindi yung price. It's value. Where some of the bundles can come in, it could be flexible, it has to be diversified, and it has to be accessible. Kasi kailangan magiging multi-purpose tayo ngayon na we can help friends, we can share, and meron pa tayong handa. And with that, those are my 3 points.
Mga kapatid, maraming salamat lang po. Bigyan lang natin ng daan. Maraming salamat po kay Dr. Ranulfo Havelosa. No, si nanay po ay kanyang chinek up kanina at nakutuwan-tuwa yung matanda sapagkat may magandang balita si Doc. No, maraming salamat po, Doc, sa pag-alaga po sa aking nanay at ganun din naman po kay Miss Baby Matris, no? From Valenzuela City na tumulong po para magka-schedule kagad si nanay. Alam mo yung nanay ko, mahal na mahal ko yan. Kapag mayroong karamdaman, medyo nababagabag talaga ako. No? So, masaya po kami magkakapatid na medyo maganda naman po yung balita kanina. So, thank you po sa ating mga frontliners. And again, no, hindi lang po sa nanay ko, marami po kayong inalagaan. No? At wag po kayong mag-alala. Ipadadala po natin ng simpleng pasasalamat, no? Sa gandang loob ng Buffalo's Wings and Things. No? So, yan po ang way ko ng pasasalamat, pagbibigay lang po ng wings. No? So, maraming salamat po. At sa lahat po ng nanood, no? Maria Teresa Catador ng, Pastor Alin ng, Jordan Bernardo, Silverio Rosero, Rodel Crotario, pasensya na po. Hindi namin nababati ang lahat ngayong gabi sapagkat, syempre po, napakabigat ng ating mga bisita, napakaraming insights na dala-dala. So again, looking forward to the next episode. Ang ating pong bisita ay si Kendrick, no? Kendrick Ko ng Kendrick Loves to Brand, no? Marami po siyang na-interview sa kanyang mga podcast. So lahat po ng mga best of the best insights mula sa kanyang mga na-interview from, business owners, creators, innovators, i-share po niya sa ating lahat next week, no? So Kendrick, maraming salamat. Looking forward to seeing you next week. At again, maraming salamat po sa ating bisita, Boss Martin, no? Adam, nice meeting you, and I'm sure you will go back here, no, in the show. I hope you enjoyed. Sinumit, no? And again, sa mga taga-Malaysia, share, mag-ingat kayo dyan, no? God bless you all. At sa ating po mga taga-panood at taga-subaybay, no, stay safe, stay healthy, and stay optimistic. God bless. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you, Sir Romel, Miss Cheryl.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Good night.